Welcome to the Quiet Hold. This channel documents the operating systems behind managing and scaling quiet, predictable single-family rentals in overlooked U.S. markets. Today we're breaking down the 10-point buy box I use to eliminate 95% of properties before I ever run numbers. Buying rental properties is simple. Buying the right ones consistently is what takes discipline. Most rental problems people talk about, unexpected repairs, tenant issues, low cash flow, stress, start long before a lease is signed. They start at acquisition. If you buy properties emotionally and without proper due diligence, the portfolio becomes chaotic. You end up stretching numbers, taking on weird layouts, overpaying for condition issues, or convincing yourself you can fix it later. A disciplined buy box removes all of that. It forces you to evaluate properties the same way every single time, regardless of how good the deal looks or how fast the agent says you need to move. A buy box doesn't necessarily help you find more deals. It helps you avoid the deals that create noise. Stable portfolios come from repeatable frameworks and decisions. Here are the 10 filters a property must go through to enter our portfolio. Let's go through each one of them. 1. Price under $75,000, when possible. This range gives predictable rent-to-price ratios in overlooked markets. Low acquisition cost equals low downside. The only exceptions to this rule are if the goal is a higher anticipated appreciation, with cash flow being the trade-off and/or ease of management due to proximity. 2 or 3 bedrooms. These units have the strongest, most stable demand. They attract longer-term tenants and reduce turnover. 3. Simple normal layouts, no weird floor plans. I avoid strange configurations, railroad layouts, bedrooms off kitchens, chopped-up additions, odd hallway flows, or anything that confuses how the space should be used. Weird layouts attract inconsistent tenants, reduce lease renewal likelihood, and create avoidable vacancy. Simple, traditional layouts keep operations smooth. Personally, my favorite rentals are small, slab-on-grade houses with 2 or 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom, between 700 and 1,300 square feet. These tend to have much lower operating costs than bigger properties. Bigger properties don't necessarily net more because higher operating costs from increased square footage offset higher rents. In fact, in terms of rentability, smaller properties tend to do better because of the much wider tenant pool they target. 4. Built 1900s or newer. Older homes introduce unpredictable structural and system risks. Modernized homes behave more consistently. This is very market-dependent, though. What is considered standard in one market might be too old in a different one. The South, in general, has newer housing stock, unlike the Midwest, where the housing stock trends on the older side. The general rule is to not buy anything too old due to an elevated risk of deferred capital expenditure. 5. Rent ready within 90 days. No heavy rehabs, no structural correction, no projects that drag on or introduce unknown timelines. If we can't make it rent ready quickly and predictably, it's not a fit. We target cosmetic rehabs under $10,000, with most being light touch-ups around $5,000. We have found that this is where the sweet spot is. 6. DSCR of at least 1.5. Gross rent divided by principal, interest, taxes, and insurance must hit 1.5 or better. This eliminates edge case deals and protects liquidity. We don't underwrite for maintenance, vacancies, etc., but have a simple rule of thumb to put aside 50% of gross rent minus principal, interest, taxes, and insurance in reserves. This rule is much simpler and keeps underwriting efficient. 7. 30% equity target. Higher equity reduces leverage stress and increases optionality. It improves stability and creates room for future decisions, refis, repairs, acquisitions. In case of rehabs, we target a minimum of 30% equity post-rehab completion. 8. Quiet, non-distressed neighborhoods. No Class D pockets. No high-conflict streets. We use publicly available crime data to evaluate each deal block by block. 9. Lot size under 10,000 square feet with max of 15,000 square feet. Oversized or irregular lots create maintenance complexity, drainage, large tree work, fencing, lawn care. Smaller lots keep operations clean. Most tenants are not good with mowing lawns larger than 10,000 square feet. 10. No major structural, sewer, roof, or electrical issues. If the attic, crawl space, roof, sewer line, plumbing, or electrical system shows signs of heavy repair needed, it fails. This highly depends on individual risk tolerance. Sometimes deals can make sense with these issues, but I personally avoid them. These rules remove the vast majority of properties before any emotions enter the conversation. Following this buy box ensures a consistent portfolio with high standards. I personally did not follow some of these rules at the beginning, so I have learned a lot of these the hard way. Here's a few examples to what I consider good rental properties. Take this house, for example, in a tertiary Midwestern market with a population of just over 15,000 residents. These kinds of towns are killer cash flow markets because they are primary workforce housing candidates. No speculative industries makes these towns recession-resistant, since the primary employment here is government and essentials, such as in-person retail. This is a 3-bedroom home listed at $55,000 after a massive price drop of $23,000. This is insane. Built in the 1940s. Layout looks clean and traditional. Lot size is under 8,000 square feet. Repairs seem simple, mostly cosmetic. This thing can be made rent-ready in under 60 days, realistically a week with a good crew. Projected rent is about $900. Principal, interest, taxes, and insurance is roughly $400, since taxes and insurance for this particular property are fairly low. DSCR is greater than 2. Even if you model maintenance and vacancies at 10% each in underwriting, the DSCR stays above 1.5. Looks like it appears to pass the buy box contingent upon an inspection of the mechanicals. However, if there is a major issue discovered during inspection, we either renegotiate the price, depending upon our vendor network capability to solve the issue, or walk away. But so far, this is a property I would buy for my portfolio. Here's another example. This one is in a different town with a much bigger population, around 55,000 residents. Now, in a town like this, there is more competition for investor-grade deals, but good deals can still be had. This is a prime rental house. A 2-bed, 1-bath, 1,100 or so square feet built in 1920 on a small lot with no HOA. And look, this one had a massive drop of $10,000. $10,000 price drop on a $50,000 house is insane. That is a 20% reduction in price. Wow. Guys, check out the fact that this is a full livable house at $46 a square foot. This is very cheap and could potentially be a good deal. The pictures look like it is mostly a cosmetic rehab. Layout looks standard. So basically, contingent upon an inspection of the place, this is also a very good rental-grade house. Projected rent is around $970 for this one, due to it being located in a bigger town, with principal, interest, taxes, and insurance being around $400 or so again. This is a very strong cash-flowing rental property. If this system's first approach is useful, feel free to subscribe. Future videos will cover tenant scoring, market selection, full-blown workflows, and the operating systems behind building a killer single-family portfolio. No hype. Just the processes we rely on every day.